Hello, the title of this demonstration is Matisse Mini Painting. My intention in this small painting is to create transparent layers. I'm going to start with a transparent wash using an transparent acrylic ink. I'm then going to do a Matisse cutout, and I'm going to apply some gesso, which will dry, and then I'll put some more transparent paint on there, and then end with some opaque paint. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is use my wash brush to put some water on. I think it's like a 6x8 piece of Bristol paper. I'm going to drop my acrylic ink onto that wet surface and let it spread. I can go darker if I want, but you get the basic idea. Then I'll let that dry. Already got one waiting in the wings here. So here's one that I did earlier. It's dry. Then the next step, and this is a little bit about composition, is to make a very simple cutout. It's abstracted. I mean, Matisse paved the way for abstraction because he reduced everything to their basic shapes. So it's fun to make these cutouts. And then I'm going to place it on top of my piece of paper that has with transparent wash that is dried. Then I'm going to I'm going to paint with gesso. This is kind of fun. All right. I'm just going to paint this on quickly, non-fussy manner. Probably would have been a good idea to tape this down. Okay, remove that. Now, if some of the gesso has squished off to the side, what's really fun is I can scrape this out. Okay, another thing to do is I've got this large size sort of toothpick. Then I can, actually, I'm going to put some more gesso so you can really see that. Okay, then I can scratch in, do a little bit of sgraffito into the gesso and see the bottom layer of paint. Okay, if I don't like it, I can brush back, do it again till I get a pattern that I like. Okay, here's the one I have waiting in the wings. It's already dry and with nicer sgraffito work on that. Okay, so once that's dry, and you can stick it in the sun to dry, or you can blow dry it with a hair dryer. Now I'm going to start doing some more layering on this piece. And I'm still going to play with, I'm going to go transparency on top of here. And I've got a burnt umber. And what is this? A burnt sienna. So I'm playing with these more neutral tones. Okay. And what's nice, I can still see the Sgrafitto, and the gesso does not absorb the paint as much as the paper that this is on. So if I want to wipe some of that paint off or use my brush to pull some of that paint back up, I can. And what's nice about the cutout is it gives me my composition, and by putting the gesso on there, it buys me a little time to think about what my next step might be. Trying to see if this Q-tip will pull out some of the paint. Not so much. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my burnt sienna for the surround. And I'm doing this quickly. I'm leaving some of that first layer. What is that? I think it's an ochre. What is that? It says it's a raw sienna. Okay, I'm letting the raw sienna bottom layer show through. Some areas I could have the burnt sienna next to the burnt umber, that color next to color, and then some areas or that background raw sienna showing through. Okay, so I've got my structure all laid out. Now I'm going to bring in some more opaque paint, and I thought, and a little bit more color, I thought it might be nice to go with this light phthalo green. I'm going to do it on the surround, okay? But I'm still going to let some of the previous layers, the raw sienna and the burnt sienna, show through. Add a little bit of water to this light phthalo green. Again, playing with color next to color, letting some of the previous layers show through and blocking out some of them. Okay, once I got that blocked out, then again, if I want to play with some Sgrafitto in here, I can. That's nice. It scrapes back to that burnt sienna layer. It is very warm today, and so this paint, in some areas, it's already dry. Okay, now I want to come back and do something maybe with these areas, maybe a little bit darker with the burnt umber. So going for a little more contrast. So here I'm doing just layering transparency on top of transparency. Okay, so I'm pretty close on this. I think I'm trying to decide if I add one more, if I add a light phthalo blue, or if I call it quits. Let's see. I'm going to put some on my palette, and then I'm going to hold it up next to the piece and see if that's what I want. Again, these are just small studies, so I can make a whole bunch of these. It's, in a way, it's exploring. I'm exploring a new color palette here. Neutral, earth tones with little pops of color. Okay. Just doing little impasto daubs there. Might have liked it better the way it was before, but you don't know unless you try, right? Doing some Sgrafitto to kind of blends it and softens it, actually. If I had some black, I'd probably pop it in here for a little bit higher contrast. Okay, and that is it for Matisse mini paintings or painting.